I'm going to show you some examples of exactly how some of the gurus who are making multiple 6, even multiple 7 figures online are using a totally different strategy from the one that most people are told to use in the online marketing community. And I find that is especially so among beginners who are getting started very often with the traffic exchanges and the mailers. And what the program owners tell you to do, and what the program owners for the systems and the money making earning systems tell you to do, is not in your best interest. It's in their best interest. And if you want to have success online, you need to take back the power, and you need to make the system work for you rather than it working for simply the program owners. And the solution is not to become a program owner. The solution is to take control of your own marketing and make sure that you're marketing for you and that you're using a strategy that works. So to illustrate kind of how things have changed over time, I find it's generally best if I kind of talk a little bit about when I got started, how things were then, and what has impacted these changes over this time. Because as most of you probably know, I've been working online since 2001 was when I launched my first website, WebBizInsider. And I launched it literally just a couple of days prior to the 9/11 attacks. So it wasn't a great time to get started in business. But despite that, it took off fairly quickly. And the reason it took off fairly quickly is that the market at that point in the traffic exchange and mailer world was not very sophisticated. So there were only a few traffic exchanges out there. There weren't even any mailers at that point. WebBizInsider really became the first mailer with the email to downline function. And the people that were working with them were typically hiring programmers. No one was a programmer themselves. So when I came out of a world where I had spent the last few years learning about the internet, and because I was heading the teams that started the golfchannel.com, which at that point had become the #2 golf website in the world. And I'd learned a lot from working with them, and I wanted to apply it to my own business. And I wanted to be able to build my own business online rather than just working for someone else. So that's when I started up WebBizInsider. And it very quickly took off because of a couple of things. One thing was because I made some relationships early with some people who were able to make recommendations for my site and refer a fair number of people my way, which allowed me to get that critical 1,000 members that you need to really get going with a mail or a traffic exchange. And then secondarily, because I was at the time a web programmer, I could create things with WebBizInsider that other owners couldn't create. So there was a lot of innovation. We did a lot of things that other people didn't do. And because of that, we took a leadership role among the traffic exchanges at the time. And what I thought when I started WebBizInsider was that I was creating the site as essentially a lead magnet, something that I was going to give away for free in order to get people to join my list. And then when they joined my list, then I was going to be able to recommend other products to them, and that's where I was going to make my money. That was how I thought the business model for WebBizInsider was going to work. However, I was wrong, because it turned out that the product of the traffic exchanges and the memberships themselves turned out to be far more appealing than the things that I was going to recommend to people. And I started making money by selling memberships and by selling credits, and then ultimately by selling downlines, etc. And I was able to make more money doing that than I could doing recommendations. But it took off fairly quick because, frankly, back in 2001, making money on the internet was pretty easy because there wasn't a lot of competition. People weren't inundated with their email with tons and tons of marketing messages. And there weren't that many people to have to share the market between. So when you could set yourself as being somewhat different, you could really grow quickly. And the other reason we really grew quickly was because back in the early 2000s, people who were buying traffic and using traffic exchanges in order to try to sell products were also having great success. So you could take sales pages straight from ClickBank and you could post them on the traffic exchanges, rotate traffic to them, and you would make sales and make money. But all of that kind of changed. In the dividing line that I kind of have seen was when everything with the properties in the real estate market in the United States fell apart. And when the global financial crisis happened, the whole mood, if you live in the United States or probably many of the other developed countries at that time, it probably had a similar effect. The whole mood of the country changed after that. All of a sudden, people were a lot more careful with their money, and they were a lot less trusting of people that were advertising products to them. And then coincide that with the fact that the amount of marketing messages that people were getting was just increasing and increasing and increasing. If your email is anything like my email, I get thousands of marketing messages a day. There's no possible way I can read or pay attention to all of them. So everything got diluted, and people's results with what trying to make money online started to drop. So after that, people were getting a little less results. It took more traffic to be able to generate a sale. And then the shift, and everyone was talking about, well, you need to build a list. You need to focus on creating lead capture pages. And instead of trying to sell people stuff, try to get them to sign up for your list. So some people went ahead and did that and created lead capture pages. And then people got into video marketing because they were all looking for a way to get some attention, a way to get their message noticed among the crowd of all of the people that were trying to get attention of people marketing. But despite all of those things, results kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So it used to take, say, 300 visitors or visits to your webpage in order to get somebody to sign up. Now it was 500, then it was 600, then it was 700. Then it started getting worse than that. Until if you were promoting sales pages where you were looking for people's money up front, you'd be lucky to get one sale a month, let alone a sale every 300 visitors, because people were just much more careful. Now they thought long and hard about spending $27 or $49 or even $17 or $10. They had to be more careful with their money, and they wanted to make sure it was going to work. And they didn't believe the sales messages on all of these pages. So people's results kept dropping. This was very disturbing to me as someone who owned a site that provided advertising to people, because I always knew that the product I was providing, what people wanted out of my site, was not traffic. They wanted signups. They wanted sales. Traffic was just a means to the end. It was just a way to be able to get sales, was to get the message in front of enough people, people would buy it. Well, if that doesn't work and you get the message, no matter how many people you get the message in front of, people still don't buy, then I knew that ultimately that was going to impact my business. So I started looking for alternatives. I started looking for ways to be able to help my members get better results. What is it that I could offer to them? What different techniques could I teach them? What changes could I make to the programs? So I got into mailers. I tried different launches. I tried different ways of paying people, instant commissions via JVZoo, trying to find, can I find a product that people can sell where they can make money? In the traffic exchange mailer world, can I change the systems to make it so that people can get better attention and they can get better results? And although I think those things helped to slow down how quickly things were declining, things were still declining. It didn't stop decline. It only slowed the decline. So it kind of came to a point last year where I could see that people were getting very little results. And most of the people that were advertising things that just were not very compelling, that it was the same sign-up links for all the different programs. They weren't getting any results. I was trying to preach to them about what they need to do different. They needed their own sign-up pages. They need to build their own list. But the vast majority still weren't doing it. And said, I just need to figure out what people need to do. What is the difference between the gurus who are getting great results, who I know are making 6 and 7 and 8 figures online, and what my members are doing? What can I learn that I can bring and teach them from the gurus? So I went ahead and I put some feelers out there to some of the higher end marketers online outside of the traffic exchange and mail world, but kind of more household name marketers. But these were guys who I've always invested a lot in my own training. So these were guys that I was on masterminds with, or in groups with, etc. So I just went out to them and I said, I'm interested in doing some project management work for you guys. I'll come in, manage any projects that you guys have on the go, and give you a hand. When really my goal was, I wanted to be able to see their businesses from the inside. I wanted to be able to learn what was working for them so that I could bring it back and teach it to you. So these guys are always busy. They always have way more ideas than they have the ability to be able to execute them. So when I made that offer, they jumped on it. And they went ahead and they said, yeah, we'd love to have you come in and manage this project, that project. And one of them in particular wanted me to be able to create a new course for his audience. He wanted to have a new course to be able to sell to his audience. And he said, I don't have any, despite the fact that he has a team of 12 full-time people at that time working for him, he said, none of them have any time, any bandwidth to be able to work and create this. So I want to bring you in, and I want you to hire all the people that you need in order to execute this course. So I said, all right. So this was great. And there was certain expectations that I expected coming in that I was going to learn from these guys. I expected, look, I'm going to go and I'm going to get in on the insides of these guys' businesses, and I'm going to discover that they have these enormous mailing lists that they've built up over time. And they're going to have 500,000 people that they're emailing to. And that's how they're able to generate millions of dollars a year in sales, is because they have these enormous lists. And this is what I expected when I went in. And I was just really looking forward to being able to get access to their system so I could see how they did it. How did they build these enormous lists? And then how did they execute it, turned into sales? But I was kind of in for the shock of a lifetime, because when I started working on a project for this particular guy, and then it was replicated over and over again when I went and worked for other marketers online during 2015, was I got in and I logged into their backend systems where they had their mailing lists and the AWeber get response, that kind of thing. And I was expecting to see these enormous lists. And this particular marketer that I was creating the course for, he, in 2014, the year prior to when I was working with him, had done $2.4 million in sales. So $2.4 million in sales. And he only started online in 2011. So this was 3 years after he started. He did $2.4 million in sales. It was like, he's got a great big list. So I went in and I logged into the back end, and surprise, surprise, his list was barely more than 20,000 people. It's like, I couldn't believe it. It was like 20,000 people. How do you generate $2.4 million in sales from a list of 20,000 people? Except my websites have, at that point in 2015, over 400,000 members. I had signed up to my sites. I have a list of 400,000. This guy has a list of 20,000. He's doing 2.4 million a year, and I'm only doing a tenth of that. So the difference obviously is not the size of the list. So there's something else at play here. So I went and I spoke to him and I said, look, how is it that you do this? How is it that you accomplish this? And he explained it to me and he showed it to me. And during the 7 months that I was working on this particular project and then another project for him, I saw it firsthand. And I learned that it's not the size of the list that matters. It's the depth of the relationship that you have with the list that matters. It's not the size. It's the relationship that you have with the people on the list that matters. That is what allows these guys to cut through the clutter and be able to get the attention of people who are overwhelmed with the amount of emails that come in. But when their emails come in, people read them and people listen to them. And I saw from the inside the power of that, and I saw from the inside how it was done and how it was replicated. And then I worked to figure out how I could do it, and how the people that I lead, like you guys and the members of my sites, would be able to do it. And the difference between that and the marketing that pretty much everybody else is doing online right now. And I think a really good way to illustrate it and a good way to explain to you the difference between what they are doing and what we've been doing is this story, is this analogy. Imagine that you are going into the grocery store and you pull up your car into the parking lot and you get out and you start to walk across the parking lot to the entrance to the store. And then all of a sudden, some stranger comes up to you and he says, wait a minute. And you think he's going to ask you for some money. But instead he says, I just wanted to tell you, there's a really great restaurant that opened up and you really should go give it a try. So what's your reaction to that? Most people's reaction to that would be to tell the guy to get lost and immediately start walking as fast as you can in the opposite direction. You think, who's this weirdo in the parking lot that's coming up to strangers and recommending restaurants? You might even go inside and say to the manager, there's somebody soliciting people in your parking lot. You should call the police. That's your reaction. Are you likely to go and actually try out the restaurant that he told you about? Probably not. If anything, you might have the opposite effect. Say, I'm not going anywhere near that restaurant if they're hiring people to accost people in parking lots to recommend the restaurant. Now, imagine a different scenario. Imagine that your best friend comes up to you and he says, I really think you should go try out this restaurant because I know you really like Chinese food and they have the best Chinese food I've ever had. I really think you'll like the garlic spare ribs. They're fantastic. Are you likely to go and try that restaurant that your best friend recommended? Absolutely. In fact, you might feel compelled that you have to go try it because the next time you see your friend, he may ask you, hey, did you go try out that restaurant I told you about? You want to be able to say yes. Two people saying essentially the same thing could be about the same restaurant, and you have a totally different reaction. Totally different reaction to one versus the other. Why? Why is it that the recommendation from your friend causes you to take action, but the recommendation from the stranger in the parking lot causes you to take the opposite reaction, that you want to stay clear of what they recommend? And the difference is in the power of the relationship. When your friend recommends something to you, you assume that they don't have an ulterior motive. When a friend recommends something to you, you assume that they're looking out for your best interest. When a stranger in a parking lot or a salesperson recommends something to you, you assume they're doing it for their benefit, for something that they're going to get out of making this recommendation. So therefore, you don't feel compelled to go and actually do it. But when a friend recommends it, you just think, look, my friend's looking out for me, so therefore, he really wants me to go try this restaurant because he thinks I'm really going to like it. And the difference is the relationship. You have a relationship with your friend that entails that you trust them, whereas with the stranger, you don't trust them. Now, how does this apply to the online marketing that you're doing every day? Well, when you go out in a traffic exchange or a mailer, or it doesn't matter, advertising, any form of trying to get exposure to your message, to whatever opportunity you're promoting, who are you to the person that you're trying to attract? You're a stranger. They don't know you. In fact, you're probably using stock pages from the program that you're promoting that don't even say who you are. They don't know you. They don't know the program. And here you are out there saying, hey, you should sign up for this. It's the best thing since sliced bread. You are the guy in the parking lot. Now, if you take a different approach to this, imagine that instead of the first thing you said to someone was, hey, you really need to go try out this website, this program, this opportunity, because you'll make tons of money. Imagine if instead you said, how can I help you? If instead of the first thing, the first impression that someone gets of you is this guy's trying to sell me something, you gave them the impression that you were trying to help them instead. If you tried genuinely to help them accomplish their goal without direct self-interest to you. I mean, this probably happens to you. I know it happens to me almost every day. I'll get a Facebook friend request from somebody. And most of the friend requests I get, as long as they look like they're from a real person, I accept because I assume they're a member of one of my sites and I want to connect with people. I want to, provide a different way for people to be able to connect with me if they want. So I accept somebody's friend request. And then immediately, within minutes of me accepting the friend request, I get a message from them, a private message. And that private message is, hey, thanks for accepting my request. I really think you should go check this out because this is a great program. It's guaranteed to make you money. And if you promote it to your list, I'm sure you'll do really well. The first thing the person has said to me after we've connected as a friend, put big air quotes around that on Facebook, is, hey, come buy my stuff. Do you know what my reaction to that is? The reaction that probably many people's reaction is, you go over, click the button, unfriend, and block. That person will never talk to me ever again. Because if the only thing you have to say to me is to pitch your stuff, and that is the first thing you want to say to me, then you're not somebody that I want to be friends with. You're not my friend. You're a salesperson. People don't like salespeople. And yet, the way that we market online is to try to sell to strangers. When you go out there and you take cold traffic, when we say cold traffic, we mean traffic that's coming to your sign-up page or your opportunity that is coming from people who don't know who you are. It's cold. Versus warm traffic. Warm traffic is from people who've already been warmed up. They know something about you. They know who you are. That's warm traffic. But when you take your cold traffic from strangers and you send them to a sign-up page for an opportunity, you're trying to sell to strangers, like the guy in the parking lot. And you're coming across to that person as, hey, I'm a salesperson, and the only thing I'm interested in is getting you to buy my stuff. And let's use another story to illustrate people's reaction to salespeople. Imagine you're going to buy a car. So you drive by the lots and you're looking for any cars that might be of interest to you, and you pull onto the lot because you see a car as you drive by that you might be interested in, and you drive up and you park next to it and you look at it out the window of your car and you're like, am I interested maybe in buying this car? How does it look? And you're thinking, yeah, it looks pretty nice. This might be the car I'm looking for. So you get out of the car to go take a closer look. You want to look in the windows. You want to see what it looks like inside. What options does it have? Maybe you want to read the sticker on the window. It says what the price is and the different options that are on it. So you're there, you're peeking in the windows. Then out of the corner of your eye, you catch across the parking lot, the door opens to the sales office, and out comes the salesperson. And he starts walking across the lot towards you. Instantly, your whole demeanor changes. Everything that's going through your mind changes. Just one moment ago, you were thinking, I really like this car. I might buy it. And as soon as you see the salesperson, your demeanor changes. And instantly what's going through your head is, how can I stop him from selling me this car? He's going to come over here and he's going to try to sell me this car. How can I stop him from selling me this car? If you thought you could, you'd hop back in your car and drive away quickly before you made it there. Because you don't want to talk to a salesperson. Yes, you're interested in buying a car, but you don't want to talk to a salesperson because you don't want him to sell the car to you. Because the reality of human nature, and remember, marketing and sales is just applied psychology. You have to know the psychology of what you're trying to get people to do in order to get them to take action. So marketing is just applied psychology. So how can you influence someone? You don't influence them by looking like a salesperson because people love to buy stuff. The reality is that buying things gives us great pleasure. When you buy something, if you buy a new car, what do? You polish it, you take it around so all your friends can see it. Oh, look at the new car I bought. You don't let anybody eat in it. Maybe you make people take their shoes off before they get in it. You don't want anybody dirtying up your new car you just bought. You love your new car because people love to buy things, because buying gives us pleasure. Getting something new gives us pleasure. When you sign up for a new program and you believe this is the one that's going to make me money online, you're all excited about it. You love that feeling. That's why people buy things, because the rush they get from buying it. But what you don't want is you don't want someone to sell it to you. People love to buy, but they hate to be sold. So why do we keep going out there looking like salespeople? Because as soon as you start to appear like a salesperson, you're going to get that same reaction as the guy who friends me on Facebook and then sends me a promotion link. Or the sales guy who's walking across the lot when you're interested in buying a car. Instantly, the wall goes up to protect you from being sold, because you don't want to be sold. You just want to buy in your own time. And your time may not coincide with what the salesperson wants to do, which is sell you before you leave the lot. The reality is that when you're out there and you're promoting to people, you may have a product that they're interested in buying. You may have a product that they're researching. When someone comes to a website and they're doing research on a particular product they're interested in buying, let's say it's a car, and they go to the website, they're doing research, they're checking out, learning all about the car as to whether they want to buy it. Only 8% of people are ready to buy at the moment that they're doing the research. 92% will buy in the next 90 days, but they're not ready to buy right now. So if the only thing you give them is a sales page, the best chance scenario, if you got 100% take on everybody who was ready to buy, is you'd be able to sell 8 out of 100 people. That's best case scenario. The other 92%, the other 92 people out of 100 are going to buy, but they're not going to buy from you because they're not ready to buy now. They might buy 30 days from now. They might buy next week. They might buy 60 days. They might buy 90 days from now. They're going to buy, but they're not going to buy from you because all you gave them was a sales page. And you came across as a salesperson, not someone who's going to help them make the right decision as to what to buy, not as a guide or a mentor on this journey of deciding what car they were going to buy, but you're just a salesperson. And that is what every program teaches you to do. Think about it. Think about what they tell you to do, or even what they do on your behalf. If you get some of these push button programs, you join a program and they say, look, if you want to make money from our program, here's your affiliate link, go promote it. Here's some banners, here's some email copy that you can copy and paste to send out to people. What does all that email copy, what do all those pages say? Come buy my stuff. It's all a sales pitch written by salespeople. So you go out there and you promote that, and instantly people are turned off because you're just a salesperson. Maybe they're interested in solving the problem that the product you're promoting sells, because that's ultimately what people have. They have problems. Why are you trying to make money online? Because you need more money. You have a problem, you need more money, or you want to make money from a different source. You want to be able to quit your job and you want to be able to make money online instead, or you want to be able to retire and make money online. You have a problem. The problem is solved when you make more money online. That's really what you want. You join a program because you love the program. You join a program because you think it's going to solve your problem. So if that's the audience you're appealing to, how could you help them solve that problem? Well, you can recommend a product that could solve it. But when you do that, you're a salesperson. you're coming across as a salesperson. So then no one signs up. Nobody buys the product you're promoting. You're like thousands and thousands of visitors to my website, but nobody's signing up. What's the problem? The problem is that you are a salesperson. All you are when you promote a single program is a commissioned salesperson for that program. But frankly, it's in the program's best interest to tell you that. When you join WebBiz Insider, one of my programs, I guess I'm as guilty as anybody else. When you join one of my programs, what do I tell you to do? I tell you to promote WebBiz Insider. Why do I tell you to promote WebBiz Insider? Because it's the best thing for my program. Now, I may believe it's the best thing for you too. And that ultimately, if you build a downline and if you can earn commissions and you can create an automatic traffic stream, that's good for you too. But frankly, it's not as good for you as the alternative that most of the gurus are using online, which is instead of focusing on promoting a program, they focus on building an audience. Not just building a list like everybody says, because I'm sure you've joined up to all sorts of lists. Maybe you were offered some sort of a free report, or somebody said they were going to give you a solution to a problem if you just joined their list. And you joined their list, and what happened? You got an email and it said, come buy my stuff. And then the next day, what happened? You got another email that said, come buy my stuff. And even if you're promoting a all-in-one program, like a World Profit or GVO or All-in-One Profits or any of those programs, where they say, hey, we're going to give you lead capture pages. Go sign up. We'll add them to your list in World Profit. I'm not picking on World Profit. It's just an example. This equally applies to any program. What happens when they join your list in World Profit? Do you build a relationship with them? Do they become your audience? No, they become World Profit's audience. And then World Profit starts sending them emails. And what do those emails say? Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. Buy my stuff. They come across as a salesperson. You haven't added them to your list. You're not building a relationship with them. You're not creating that ever important relationship of know, like, and trust, because that is the answer. That is the solution. The solution is you need to create an audience of people who know, like, and trust you. You. It's not as simple as just branding yourself. It's not as simple as just having your name on the sales pages that many of the programs allow you to do. Yes, that's better than nothing, but it's not building an audience of people, because once somebody sees your face, if they don't sign up for the program, they're gone. You never get to talk to them again. To create an audience, you need a home base. You need a home base where people can connect with you. And instead of promoting programs to cold traffic, you're going to promote your home base to cold traffic. So you're going to take cold traffic that comes from traffic exchanges, mailers, Facebook ads, social media, Bing ads, any source that you can find of people who do not have a relationship with you yet. And you are going to take that traffic and you're going to send it to your lead capture page. And your lead capture page is going to give them some sort of an offer, which is an offer to help solve their problem. The problem that your website, that your whole business is built around. So if you're promoting to people who are trying to make money online, then who is it that you want to be to those people? You want to be their guide, their mentor, who is going to show them the steps to accomplish their goal of wanting to make money online. That's the person that you need to become to your audience. And you want to create an audience of people who are following you, who are listening to what you have to say, taking your advice, and following you on this journey. You do that by first focusing all your cold traffic on getting them to take the first step to engage with you, which is signing up to get some sort of a free report, some sort of a lead magnet, as we would call it, a bribe essentially, to get them to join your list. Now, is your list in GVO? Is your list in all-in-one profits? Is your list in World Profit? No. You need your own autoresponder account with a good, reputable autoresponder. Because frankly, if you're building your list inside World Profit, what if World Profit goes out of business? Your list is gone. And those kind of programs go out of business all the time. So all the work you could build for years and everything's gone. You don't control it. You need a platform to build your business on that you control. And there's certain elements to doing that. So one is you need your own autoresponder from a reputable autoresponder. I know a lot of people in the traffic exchange and mail world are into Traffic Wave or Rocket Responder. I don't recommend them. I don't recommend them. Because Traffic Wave, as an example, and I used Traffic Wave for years, so I certainly have experience with them. Again, it's nothing against the program, but Traffic Wave is sold primarily as a money-earning program, not as an autoresponder. Their primary focus is not on making sure your mail gets delivered. Their primary focus is on how can we get you to sign up more people under you so you can earn commissions from them. That's what their business is built around. Your business isn't built around making sure you get the best deliverability possible. Let's say you're dealing with one of the larger autoresponders like GetResponse or Aweber. Those would be the two that I'd recommend for most people starting out. You can get a program from them that'll allow you to have up to 1,000 members on your list for $15 a month, the same as Traffic Wave costs. They have affiliate programs, so you can promote them and earn money by recommending them as well. So yes, you can't have unlimited members for $15 a month like you can with Traffic Wave. But if you have 1,000 members on your list and you're not making money, enough money that you don't care that now it's going to cost you $49 a month to go to 5,000 members, then you're doing it wrong. Then that means you're not following the strategy of getting an audience to know, like, and trust you. Because if you're following that strategy, you're making money. If you're following the strategy of building a list so you can just hammer them with marketing messages, then you very well may not be making money. But I'll tell you, you also won't make money if your mail doesn't get delivered. A lot of Traffic Wave mail, a lot of Rocket Responder mail, a lot of GVO, World Profit, all of those programs that have integrated autoresponders, a lot of their mail ends up in spam folders because a GetResponse or an Aweber has the resources. These are large companies with hundreds of thousands of clients that are paying them money every month. These are multi-million-dollar companies. And they have whole departments whose job it is to have a relationship with Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, to make sure that the mail that comes from their server doesn't get classified as spam. So just a note, you need a good autoresponder. I use GetResponse. Aweber's just as good. There's some positives and negatives to each. But you need a good autoresponder that you control. Because when you add people to World Profit, again, I'm not picking on them, but when you add people to World Profit, not just you are emailing those people, World Profit's emailing them too. And they're countering the work you're doing to try to build a relationship. You're emailing saying, how can I help you? And they're emailing and saying, buy my stuff. When somebody gets added to your email list in GetResponse or Aweber, nobody's emailing them but you. You're controlling the conversation. You have to be in control. This is the difference between an amateur marketer and a professional marketer. A professional marketer has taken the steps to create a system so that they're in control, so that they control the message that's going out to their audience. So autoresponder, key important part. The other thing you need to have, obviously, is your own lead capture pages and your own lead magnet that you're giving away as a bribe. You can create those using a program like Landing Page Monkey or Lead Pages or ClickFunnels. Or if you have a WordPress site, you can create them on your WordPress site using plugins, like Extreme Builder or there's a whole list of them that allow you to create lead capture pages from a WordPress install. I recommend that you get your own WordPress site because then you have your own domain. The more professional you appear, the easier it's going to be to get people to follow you. The easier it's going to be to get people to listen to you because they're going to see you as an authority. And that's the whole goal, to get a group of people, your audience, to see you as an authority and trust you. Because when they trust you and you make a recommendation, they take it, just like your friend who recommends the restaurant. When he recommends a restaurant, you take that recommendation. Let me expand a little on the example that I gave you earlier of this marketer that I went and learned much from. I told you he did $2.4 million in sales in 2014 to a list of 20,000 people. It took us about 4 months to build his course that he wanted. We created this course. I ended up hiring 17 people on my team working for my company, not for his company, but for my company that I was subcontracting out to him, that created every aspect of the course, every aspect of the website, wrote all the copy, created all the web pages, designed all the graphics, wrote all the sales messages, edited all the videos. And we did last September, almost just shy of a year ago from right now, a typical guru launch to his list, which was now 30,000 people, because I'd been working with him to build his list for 4 months prior to this. So he now had a list of 30,000 people. We created this course and we did the typical guru launch that you've probably seen a million times. There were webinars and video leading up to the inevitable launch date when the course was released. The course was only on sale for 10 days. 10 days. So they opened up the cart, as they say, and then they closed the cart at the end of 10 days. And at that point, you couldn't buy the course for another year. So what did we do during those 10 days? We had a list of 30,000 people, and we convinced 1,000 of those people to trust him and buy a $2,500 course. 14 weeks of videos, $2,500 was the price of the course. 1,000 of 30,000 people bought it. So with upsells, we did a little better than $2.7 million in sales in 10 days to a list of 30,000 people. Now you could say, oh, well, that's fine, but that's not the same niche that we're in. It was. He markets to the exact same people that you market to, the exact same people that I market to. He teaches people how to make money online. And he sold a $2,500 course to 1,000 people in 10 days because of the trust that his audience had in him. When he made a recommendation, it was like a recommendation coming from a friend. They took it. And they did that because of the relationship that he built. And I learned how he built that relationship. He built that relationship by helping people and by not looking like a salesperson, by not being perpetually just interested in what can I sell to this person today. But instead, he was, how can I build this relationship over time so that when I do offer something for sale, they're going to take it. And that's what you see so few people doing in our niche. Everybody's just buying my stuff. And everybody is failing. Everybody is failing. And these guys create this relationship by building an audience, a list of people in an autoresponder like GetResponse or Aweber. They do it by offering free content to get people to sign up. And then once they sign up, then do they start pitching them and selling them? No, they share more free content. They usually have their own website, and on that website is usually a blog. Some of them also have other ways to share content like video or podcast, etc. And I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to turn on my sharing now, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to show you a couple of examples of guys in this same grouping of people, of the different gurus that I was working for. These guys work in the same circle and they make about the same amount of money. So let me just go ahead and I'm going to switch over to my browser. So you're just seeing exactly what's on my screen. Okay. So there's a few guys here. Now, every single one of these guys makes more than $1 million in sales a year. Some of them 2 to 5 million. One of them I know made more than 5 million last year in sales. All of these guys have lists smaller than mine, smaller than the number of members that I have in my different traffic exchanges, mailers, but they have a relationship with those people that they built by helping them first. Okay, so I'm just going to move a couple things around here on my screen so I can show you their sites. So as I said, they have their own websites, their own domains. And that's frankly, if I was telling you this 5 years ago, I would just say, look, this is too hard for people to do. It's too hard to create a professional looking website, but it's not the same today. It's not the same. A lot of the excuses that people have about creating a website are just don't hold water anymore. It's not that hard to create your own website, and I'll show you some ways to do it. But so let's take a look at this guy. This guy's Ray Higdon, so rayhigdon.com. He specifically caters to network marketers. So he's interested in people that are into MLM, and he helps them, as he says, up here at the top. You can see my screen. Okay, recruit more reps, get more leads, and become top earners in the company. That's what he does. He became a top earner in several companies on his own. He then started sharing that information. Now he's not even in MLM himself anymore because he's so busy helping other people and marketing that it earns him multiple 7 figures a year. So you can see right here, this is his lead magnet that we talk about. 29 sources to get leads now. Free MP3 download. So if you put in your name, your email address, download it, you can listen to it. And it's about a 40-minute recording of him going through 29 different ways that you can get leads for your network marketing business. So it's free. Now you're signed up, you're on his list. When you get on his list, what does he start sending you? He starts sending you emails related to helping you along your journey. So he'll send you an email and he'll say, hey, I just posted this new lesson on my blog. You can see he has a blog right here. If I click on blog, wait a moment for it to load. So when he comes out with a new piece of content, he puts it here on his blog. Now, you don't have to post every day like some people say. Once a week. If you just put one article on here once a week, that can establish you as an authority. And it's not that hard to come up with ideas for articles I can share with you. If you email me, I can share with you tons of sources that'll give you tons of ideas of things to write about. And writing is like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. But he'll say every time he posts something on his blog, he'll send out an email to his list. Is he trying to sell them something? No. He's trying to get you to come and access this free content on his blog. Every Friday, he does a live video training. So on Friday, everybody on his list gets an email and he stands in front of the camera and teaches. Now, these guys are advanced marketers and they have teams to help them do this. So you don't have to go to the level that these guys do. I'm just showing you the example. The technology and the idea behind the strategy is the same, whether it's just you posting on your blog once a week or these guys who post more frequently and do video and all kinds of other things. It's just, they all started with just them on writing on their blog. And if you don't want to get it started out, even creating content for your own blog, share stuff from other people's blogs with the people on your list. It still establishes you as being an authority, and it still allows you to add value to those people. So you could share posts from Ray's blog. You could share stuff that I share with people, with your audience, and they'll appreciate you for it. And they will get to know, like, and trust you. So this is just an example. If you want to know what you can buy from Ray, well, it's here too. He's got different stuff down here on the side. So some people click on this stuff. Some people get, some of it's free, some of it's paid. Every once in a while, he'll send you out an email where he says, hey, I have a new course, or hey, I really think you should sign up for this. And a vast majority of his people take advantage of it because he's built up that trust. Let's look at another example. This website is called Smart Passive Income, smartpassiveincome.com. And this is Pat Flynn. You can see his picture here. And he's primarily a podcaster. If you know anything about podcasts, podcasts are, they started out primarily on the iTunes platform, but the idea is that it's essentially like a recorded blog. So sometimes they do interviews. It's like a show that's just audio. It's not video, it's just audio. And you listen to it like on your iPhone or whatever. So you subscribe to somebody's podcast. It's like joining a list. And then every time they come out with a new episode, it gets downloaded to your phone and you can listen to it. You can listen to it in your car when you're working out, whatever. I listen to a lot of marketing podcasts. Pat's is one of them because it's always giving me new ideas of things to write about and share about. So Pat really illustrates this idea of the fact that he's not trying to sell you stuff. He's trying to be your mentor. He's trying to guide you on your journey. Now, Pat just got started in 2008. And the other good thing about Pat is he shares all of his income. You can see up here in the upper right corner of the site where my mouse is pointing, he made $127,471.55 last month. Now, the other interesting thing about Pat is that 75% of the money he makes is by recommending other people's products. So nobody can make any excuses to say, oh, that's because they have their own courses, or that's because they have their own products. He makes 75% of his money by recommending the same stuff that you and I recommend, except he makes $127,000 a month. Why? Because he shares content and he builds relationships with the people first. He shares his content by his podcast. So every week he has a podcast episode that goes out, which is just helping people to earn income online without asking for anything in return. But every once in a while in his podcast, he'll say, oh, by the way, you really need to have your own website, and the company that I recommend is Bluehost. So go to smartpassiveincome.com/Bluehost to get my exclusive deal. What happens if you do that? He makes $100. How does that $100 add up? Well, in the month of May, Pat made $55,000 from Bluehost, just by a couple of random recommendations around on his site. Does he promote it hard? No, he recommends it like a friend would recommend something. Let me show you an example. He has this Start Here page. You click on his Start Here page, and what is it? Is it a big pitch to buy stuff? No. Do you see ads all over these sites? Like you see in the members area of the traffic exchanges and mailers, where there's 20 different things on a single page trying to convince you to buy something? No, because they're building a relationship with you first. They'll sell to you on the back end once you're on the list, but they'll mostly help you there too, and occasionally sell you. And I'll give you an example of that in a minute. I'll give you some actual numbers. So when you look at his Start Here page, he actually says that he's here to help you if your desire is to start an online business. He tells you what passive income's about. He provides some recordings you can listen to about the different types of passive income. It's all about helping you. He tells you what passive income is not, the fact that you're going to have to work. And it doesn't happen overnight, because if you're get rich quicker, he doesn't want to do business with you. Right? You're not his target audience. And then he says, well, what's the first thing you need if you want to earn passive income online? Well, you need to have your own website, right? And then he tells you why you need to have your own website. And then, of course, what does that lead into? here's the website hosting company that I use and trust, Bluehost. And if you read this text, it's not salesy, it's not pitchy, it's not hypey. It's like he was sitting across the table to you and you were his friend and you asked him about what's the first thing you should do to start your online business. And he said, you need your own website. And these are the people that I recommend. Like a friend would recommend a restaurant to you. I've used Bluehost since the beginning and trust them implicitly. I love their customer support and reliability. I've even been to their headquarters to make sure they were on top of things. It's like a recommendation. It's not a pitch fest. $50,000 a month from that recommendation. Half of his affiliate income every month comes from Bluehost. And yet he's not pitching it. He's just recommending it like a friend. Now I'm just going to skip. I'm going to go to the bottom because I don't have time to go through it in great detail. Look at his final paragraph of this page. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I'm here for you as both a guide and as a friend. Is he pitching himself as a salesperson? No, he's your friend. He's your guide. He's the guy you're going to follow on this journey to make money online. I want to hear your stories. I want to know how else I can help you. I want the Smart Passive Income experience to be our experience together. It's how we all learn and grow together, including me. He's positioning himself not as a salesperson, but as your friend, as your guide, as your mentor. Because if you're guiding someone along a journey, let's say you're in the make money online space, and you're guiding someone along the journey to create a business that's going to make money for them online, there's going to be tons of things they're going to need along the way. Tons of things. And if you're the guide, you're the best, in the best position to be able to recommend it to them. If you were going on a trek through the mountains and your guide was guiding you along and you came across a spot and you were like, I really think you need a new backpack. This is the one that I use. Look how great it is. You should get one. Here's where you can get it. You'd probably take that recommendation because he's your guide. He's not a salesperson. Yes, he may make a commission on that backpack. You may buy it because you know he makes a commission and you want it to help him out because he's been so helpful to you. Just like the friend who you need to go to that restaurant even if you don't want to because you want to be able to tell your friend that you did. It's a totally different approach and strategy to looking at your marketing. You're not marketing as what can I sell? You're marketing as how can I connect? How can I build a relationship with the people that follow me? Right now, I can tell you, I would rather have a deep relationship with 100 people, like the people on this call right now, than I would to have 100,000 people who are just kind of listening to me. You can earn more income from a deep relationship with fewer people than you can with a superficial relationship with tens or hundreds of thousands of people. That's why small lists convert. Because when you're a small blogger and you're just getting started out, like you guys would all be if you go on this path, you have a deeper connection with your audience than I do because I have a lot more people I have to take care of, or than Pat Flynn does. Because you cherish every person who follows you and you've got the time and the energy to be able to tailor stuff to their needs. And they feel more connected with you. And the more connected they feel with you, the more influence you have. Notice when you look at his site here, at his navigation, he has a start here page, he has an about page where he shares his story because he wants you to connect with him. Then he has all the free content he shares, podcasts, TV, blog. Then he has the things that he sells, speaking, because he does public speaking at like keynotes at conferences and stuff, and resources, which is the things that he recommends. His website's not covered with ads because that's not the focus. The focus is he's trying to connect with you. He's trying to get you on his list, trying to get you to subscribe to his podcast. He's going to work on building a relationship with you over time because he knows that 92% of the people are going to buy later. So if he can build a relationship between now and when they buy, It'll only be natural that they'll buy from his recommendation. You're throwing away 92% of your business if you're just trying to sell to people now. I'm going to show you another example. This is Danny and his site. Used to be Fire Pole Marketing, now called Mirasee. Take a look at his homepage. What's his homepage focused on? Do you see anything for sale? No. There's nothing for sale on this page. Because his goal when you come to his homepage is not to get you to buy something. It's to get you to click on this link, download now, and sign up for his free report, 10 Rules of Visionary Business. It's the whole idea is to get you to opt into his list, because he knows once you're on the list, then he can build a relationship with you. And once you build a relationship with you, then you'll buy things that he recommends. Right now, you're out there recommending stuff to strangers and they're not buying it. Surprise, surprise. Because guys like Danny, guys like Pat, guys like me are building relationships with people. So when we recommend it, they buy it from us rather than buying it from you. Now, I don't do that. I don't recommend a lot of products, as you know, if you've been on my list for any period of time. I don't pitch a lot of products because I don't want to compete with my members. I don't want to do that. It's not kosher to me, never has been. So I only promote things when I really feel people need to know about it, or when I'm doing it as a favor for a friend. I don't pitch the same stuff that you guys sell because I don't want people to buy from me instead of you. So let's scroll down a little on his page here. What, as seen on Forbes, blah, 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 etc. What's that say? Trust me. What are these things? More lead magnets that you can download. Get on the list. What's the next thing that he talks about on his page? His values. These are the things that he and his company stand for. What's that say? Trust me. Visionaries, different, online experts. What do they say about his company and him? All kinds of nice things. What does it say? What's the goal of this? Trust me. Right? Then he shares his content, his podcast. So these are his latest podcast episodes. Then he has his blog, and these are the things that he writes about on his blog. See any ads? No. No ads here. Bottom of the page, what is it? Oh, lead magnet again. Join my list. And then down at the bottom, links to all kinds of stuff from all over his site, 90% of which is free content that you can access, because the whole goal is just to get you to connect with him. Again, join now. Join our community of over 60,000 people. Danny does $10 million a year in sales from this website, and there's not even anything on here to buy. If you want to buy something, you have to go over to his How We Help page and then look at the products that he has on there, his courses and etc. Because it's not focused on buy my stuff. It's focused on be my friend. It's focused on let me help you. Let me guide you without asking for anything in return. Some people will never buy. They'll stay free forever. They'll learn from all your content. They'll never buy anything you recommend, and that's fine. Because some people will buy. And some people will buy over and over and over again. The guy I was working for last year, some of those people, those 1,000 people who bought that $2,500 course, had bought a $1,000 course from just months before that. And then a $700 course from just months before that. And then they signed up for a webinar that he did where he charged $500 a person for a 3-hour webinar. Because they trust him, and because he keeps coming out with good stuff. Now, if I use that example of that marketer again, how does he talk and how does he communicate to his audience is different? How can you talk and how can you communicate to your audience is different? Well, let me tell you, he only sells 30 days a year. Only 30 days a year does he send out an email saying, buy my stuff. But he emails his list every single day. Now remember, I don't expect you to email your list every day. You got to email them at least once a week. Otherwise, they'll forget about you. But he emails his list every day because he has a team. He has a team of a dozen people that work for him that help him manage all that, right? It's a lot easier when you got a team. And so he emails his list every day. Only 30 emails a year are saying, come buy my stuff. The other 335 emails a year are just adding content for people. So what's the ratio there? 11 to 1. 11 of the emails you get from him are just help for you, advice, suggestion of going and looking at something on his blog, suggestion of going and looking at something on somebody else's blog. Hey, I found this really great article that I thought that you'd like, be really useful. Why don't you go take a look? Here's the link. What do people think when you get an email like that? Do you think this guy's trying to sell me something? No, you think, what's in this for him? He's sending me to somebody else's website to look at their blog post. Obviously, he's just interested in helping me because there's nothing in this for him. Because they're becoming your friend, they're becoming your mentor, your guide. They're illustrating that they know what they're talking about. And then that comes up to the other objection that people have, and they say, I can't lead people. I can't guide people. I haven't figured this out myself. How am I supposed to guide people on a journey to make money online when I haven't figured out how to make money online yet? Well, let me tell you, if you build a website or you have one built for you and you have a lead capture page offering your own lead magnet and you're adding people to your list in Aweber or GetResponse or some other good quality autoresponder, and you're putting something out new on your website every week, and that you're emailing your list every week, you're ahead of 99% of the people in our market. You're now in the top 1%. So can you lead people who have not done that yet, who have not gotten to that point? Absolutely, you can. I like to use the analogy to say, you don't have to be an expert in mathematics to teach a second grader math. You just need to know second grade math. A fifth grader can teach a second grader math. He's not an expert in mathematics, but he knows everything necessary to teach a second grader. So all you need to do to lead an audience is to be further along in the journey than they are. And then you can lead them in the steps that you've already taken. So if you take this approach of creating an audience of people who know, like, and trust you, instead of just trying to sell to strangers, you've already taken steps to go ahead 99% of the people. So those 99% of the people can learn from you and can learn from your example. And as you progress and make more money and build an audience and discover the next steps, so can they. They can follow along in your steps, and you can learn and you can teach them more stuff. Danny, right here, 10 million bucks a year. He's only been doing this for 5 years. 5 years he's been in the business. I've been in more than 15. 5 years. Pat Flynn started in 2008. So 8 years in the business. Leads a large audience. Makes $1.7 million a year. Pat does not have a large team. Pat only has a couple of people that work with him. $1.7 million a year. Ray was bankrupt 5 years ago. Losing his house, going through a divorce. Does more than $3 million a year now. And yet, you don't see them pitching a lot of products for sale because they don't want to look like salespeople. They don't want to do the things that you're out there doing because you're taking the advice that programs are telling you to do, because all the program wants you to do is to promote their stuff, because all they want is more members, more members, more members. If we can get thousands of people out there promoting our stuff, then we can build our membership. Instead, you need to create your own audience and your own home base. This is Ray's home base. Everything Ray does runs out of here. He's got his blog here. He's got his lead magnets here. And then he has it tied in to an outside autoresponder. Everything here. Nobody can take this away from Ray. If Facebook decides to kill his Facebook account, doesn't matter. He's still got his core here, his core in his autoresponder. As long as he pays for his website hosting and pays his autoresponder, he's good. He can stay in business. No matter what is happening around him, he can adjust because he's building his business. Now, he may recommend a lot of different products. If we use Pat as an example, Pat is making tons of money recommending Bluehost. What if Bluehost went out of business? He could just recommend somebody else because he's built his core himself. He's built an asset in his business. He has an audience of people who know, like, and trust him, that he has their email addresses and can contact them, that he can contact them through iTunes, through their podcast. People that will follow him, that will trust him. He'll recommend one product. If that product doesn't, pan out or it becomes less popular, you can recommend something else. When you build your audience inside a program, you can only promote that program. You don't have the opportunity to promote a whole product line that these guys have. Pat promotes about a dozen different products related to making money online and to make this amount of money, about a dozen different products. So maybe people don't buy product A, but maybe they'll be interested in product B. If they're not interested in product B, then maybe they'll be interested in product C. If you're a one-trick pony, as they say, and the only thing you're promoting is world profit, here I am picking on world profit again, then if a person isn't interested in world profit, they're done, they're gone. You don't have an opportunity to sell them anything else. If you get them to join your list by offering them a great lead magnet, then you have the ability to be able to promote to them multiple times. And maybe over time, they'll buy multiple things from you. The reality is the 80-20 rules applies. 80% of your income is going to come from 20% of your clients. And those 20% will keep buying over and over and over again of the things that you recommend. If you're coaching somebody through the process of making money online, well, they're going to need a website. So they're going to need hosting. They're going to need an autoresponder. They're going to need traffic. They're going to need WordPress plugins. They're going to need WordPress themes. They're going to need all kinds of different ways to be able to get exposure to their site. They're going to need programs to be able to sell, network marketing programs, money-making programs, etc., that they're going to sign up for. If you've been in this business for time, you probably signed up for dozens of things. Imagine if you could refer somebody like you and get them to follow you under your audience, and all those dozens of things you bought, they had bought from you. They had bought from your affiliate links. Think of the money you would have made. That's what happens when you lead somebody on a journey. So that's the goal. You have to do that. And to do that, you need something like this. But it doesn't have to be this fancy. It has to have the key elements, and it has to be the best possible so that it portrays you as being further along in the journey than the people that you're trying to lead. That you've got your act more together than they do. And then you have to talk to them differently. I gave you another example. This happened to me 3 different times in the last few months, that I was speaking with someone, because I do a lot of free one-on-one coaching calls. And that I was speaking with someone, and I asked them if they were building a list. And they told me, yes, they were. And then they told me they had a good autoresponder, get response rate Weber. I was like, oh, that's great. How big's your list? 3 different guys, 8,000, 10,000, and 18,000 people. There's the 3 particular guys that I'm thinking about. All of those guys had been focused on doing what everybody told them online. Build a list, build a list, build a list. Everything everybody's been preaching. Oh, you need to build a list. Not a single one of them had ever made a sale to anybody on their list. Not one. 8,000 members, 10,000 members, 18,000 members on their list hadn't made a single sale. I said, what are you sending them? The answer is the same across the board. I email them every day the latest offer that I have of something for sale. I'm like, there. That's why you're not selling anything. You're not selling anything because to them, you're a spammer. You're just a salesperson and they're not paying any attention to you. So all the effort that you went through to build your list, all the effort that you went through to pay the money for have an 18,000 member list and get response, you're getting nothing in return because to them, you're a spammer. You need to talk to them differently. So one of those guys, I made him a bet. And I said, how many people open your email when you send it to your list of 18,000 people? And he said, about 65. I said, 65 people, that's all the people that open your emails when you send it to the list of 18,000. He says, yeah, I'm sure the list is dead. I said, the list isn't dead. You're talking to them wrong. I said, I bet I can send an email to them. And I bet you get 65 opens. I bet I can get over 1,000 opens to your list of 18,000. And I bet I can get at least 100 of those 18,000 people to write you a personal reply back. He said, impossible, can't do it. How are you going to take 65 opens, go to 1,000 opens? I said, because I'm going to talk to them differently. You're sending them emails that say, come buy my stuff, where the subject line is, click this to get the latest money-making opportunity, or something along that lines. I'm going to write to them like a friend. So I said, all right. So he gave me his logins to his get response. And I went in and I sent an email. And it was 9 words. What I call the amazing 9-word email. And it had a simple subject line. And you may have seen some of these from me because I use them myself, obviously. That's why I know they work. And it said, open me. And when they opened it, inside was a single question. Is this still a good email address to contact you? Question mark. Signed, James. Got the client's name was James. And then I did everything to make it look like it was a personal email coming from James. So the little part that goes on the bottom of the autoresponder that says it gives all the unsubscribed settings and says powered by get response. I put in all kinds of blank lines so that would be down below the fold where the person would have to scroll to see it. So it looked like James had sent them a personal email asking them if this was still a good email address. 3 days later, on a holiday weekend, 1,300 people had opened that email. The best he had ever done before was 65. 1,300 people opened that email. Of those 1,300 people, 130 some, I don't remember the exact number, but in that 130s had replied back and said yes to him. Yes, this is still a good email address to contact me. This is a list he thought was dead. He then had a response to send back to those people that he copied and pasted that I gave him, which was like, great, I didn't want to lose contact with you. Are you still trying to make money online? James. So he sent that back to the 130 people that replied. And sure enough, more than 3 dozen of those people wrote back and said, yes, I'm still trying to make money online. He's now in a one-on-one conversation with 3 dozen people from a list that he thought was dead, that he couldn't get 65 opens from, just by talking to them differently, just by dropping all the hype, dropping all the salesmanship, and just looking like a friend instead. We've done that multiple times to his list. He joined my coaching program, and we've done that multiple times to his list, and he now has several thousand people who are opening his emails from 65 in just a period of a little over a month that we've been working together. It's all about the engagement. There's 3 parts to your business. Exposure, which is how you get new people to come to your site. That's how you generate all that cold traffic. That's what you do with traffic exchange, mail or search engine optimization, Facebook, etc. Everything designed to bring new people to your website is exposure. The second part of your business, and the most important, is engagement. And that's once someone comes to your website, what are you doing to engage with them? To deepen that level of engagement, constantly be working on building that relationship with them. And the third part is monetization. And that is, okay, you have an engaged audience. What are you doing to be able to make money from them? And that is, what programs are you going to recommend to them? How are you going to recommend it? How are you going to word it? Where's it going to be on your website? How many emails are you going to send that are selling versus helping? That's monetization. The problem is that the model that you've been taught, the model that most people follow online, skips the whole middle part. And the only thing it focuses on is exposure, generate traffic, and monetization. How do you sell them something? You generate the traffic, you send it to sales pages, try to monetize it. You can't monetize cold traffic. It doesn't work. Not anymore. It worked in 2001 when I started. It worked in 2005. It worked in 2007. It worked like spades in 2008. But in 2010, not so good. 2012, even worse. 2014, even worse. 2016, barely at all. That's why you don't make any sense. Because you're trying to sell to cold traffic. When you really need to get to engage with the people in the cold traffic, you got to get them to join your list, to your website, build a relationship with them, share content with them. Then occasionally make recommendations. And when you do, they'll jump on it. They were waiting for you to recommend something to them so they could support you back for all the support you showed them. That's how you market online in 2016. That's how the gurus do it. That's how they can take a 20,000 member list and sell $2.7 million in 10 days because of the relationship with the people on the list that they built by sending 11 out of 12 emails, just helping them. Now, this doesn't work in mailers. It doesn't work in traffic exchanges because that's exposure. Everything you do there. So I'm not saying send emails out in the mailers that say, hey, how can I help you out? That's exposure. Everything you do in the mailers and traffic exchanges is designed to drive traffic to your lead pages. So what you send out in the mailers is you send out saying, hey, I got this free report. You can sign up. It's the 5 ways to double your traffic in the next 21 days. You can create that report in Word. Just list 5 things, no affiliate links, 5 ways they can double their traffic from you, save it as a PDF, and then email it to anyone who requests the report. And then that's the first impression they have of you. Then email them after they request the report, email them every week. Something new, something interesting. Hey, I found this article on this blog you might be interested in. Hey, I created an article on my own blog you might be interested in. Hey, have you checked out this website over here? They have lots of great information on how to generate more traffic. And as you do that, you're going to become valuable to them. They're going to pay attention to your emails because you're helping them. You're going to become their guide. Then you say, hey, if you want more traffic, I discovered this website that really works well for me. If you want to sign up, here's a link. And when you do that, they're going to say, hey, he's offered lots of great advice. Let's go do that. That's how you market. But you got to have these core pieces. And that's the part that trips most people up. So let me continue with my story about what I did in 2015. Because as I mentioned, I was working for all these gurus and I was managing all these projects for them. And they were literally making millions and I was being paid by the hour. But that wasn't the goal of why I went there. I didn't go there to make money. I went there to learn their secrets. And so by November, I was working way too hard because I'm a workaholic anyways. But I was working 110 hours a week between running my own businesses and managing all the projects I was managing for them. I had 17 people that were working for me that were doing all kinds of work for these guys. If they needed a video edited, they'd send it to me. My video editors would edit it. If they needed a podcast audio converted, I would take care of that. If they needed a web page design, then I had guys that would take care of that. If they needed all the tracking set up for the website to be able to track the results so they knew exactly what their conversion rates were. I had conversion expert guys, I had copywriters, I had, you name it. If it had to do with online marketing, I had an expert that I had hired and vetted and tried out multiple people in order to get the best guy working for me. So I was running essentially a subcontracting business for these guys and being the middleman between the gurus and all the experts and running their projects and that kind of thing. And I was just working like crazy. So my wife and I sat down in November and I said, look, I think I've done what I came here to accomplish. I've been doing this for 8 months now. And I think I've learned everything there is that I came to learn. I know how they do it now. And I've built teams and I've done it myself multiple times for them by just going and running the entire show. I said, this is not how I want to keep working. I don't want to keep working 110 hours a week. And ultimately, I don't want to keep just making extra millions for millionaires. I want to be helping the people that I always intended to help, which was beginning online entrepreneurs. All the people who've joined my sites over the years and are trying to make an extra $100, $500, $1,000, $2,000 online. The person who $1,000 a month would make a world of difference. You're retired and you're living on a pension, an extra $1,000 a month, if you could earn that from your online business, would change your whole lifestyle. I'm like, that's what I want to focus on. I want to take what I learned and figured out how to help my original audience, the people that I care the most about with. So I stopped taking on new contracts and I stopped doing all this work for the gurus. And I don't do that much for them anymore at this point because I wanted to devote my attention elsewhere. So I left and I took my 17 people with me that were working for me. And they and I started to figure out how are we going to help beginners with this? How are we going to help people who are just starting out? People don't even know what niche they want to pursue because the same strategy of know, like, and trust works in all niches. I don't care if you're a pet sitter or a financial planner or, if you can create an audience of people who know, like, and trust you, then you have the keys to the kingdom. You have everything you need to be able to build an online business that makes reliable income. But, lots of the people who are starting up online, they don't even know what they should pursue. And they're not web designers and they're not graphics designers and they don't understand conversion and copywriting and this kind of stuff. And that's the reality of the make money online industry. And frankly, where I think it fails. The online make money online industry fails because what people are sold are the instructions on how to build an online business. So they are told, just as I just told you, you need your own website, you need to have a blog, you need to have this, you need to have that. And you're like, well, that all sounds great. How do I do that? Well, you can go buy this course on how to create a blog. You can go buy a course on WordPress and become an expert on WordPress. You can go buy a course on how to write good blog posts, copywriting, and people make all the money selling all these courses. It's like if you wanted to buy a new car, and instead of going down to the car dealer and picking the car off the lot that you like and driving off with it, you went down to the car dealer and they said, we don't actually have any cars here, but we can sell you the plans on how to build one. And if you go over to our parts department, they can sell you all the parts. And that's what happens. People get sold the plans to build an online business. And it's even worse than that because the plans give you thousands of different ways you could configure that, your car, your online business, your car, and you got to pick which ones, and you don't know anything about it. And that's the model. People come online, they buy all these courses, they sign up for these programs, everybody's promising to tell them what to do, and then they're expected to put all the puzzle pieces together. But they don't have the skills and the background, the knowledge and experience to know how the pieces go together. Imagine putting together a jigsaw puzzle, but not knowing what the end result was supposed to look like. Is it a bridge? Is it a cat? Is it a landscape of a mountain? You don't know, but you've got these 1,000 pieces in front of you and you've got to put them together. You don't know what the end result is. and they can all fit together in a variety of different ways. That's what happens. People sell you all these tactics. They say, oh, here's how to generate traffic from Facebook. Here's a foolproof system to get to the top of the Google rankings. Here's how to create your own website. Oh, just this week, everybody out there is promoting Doodle software to be able to create your own Doodle videos. Do you want to know what percentage of people ever use that software to actually create a video that get used anywhere? Under 1%. Because Doodle software doesn't make money. Doodle software is one piece of the puzzle that you could use. And nobody's showing you what the whole picture is. And you're expected to become an expert in all of these things. You're expected to know how to set up a website. And yeah, it's a lot easier than it used to be. But if you want to create a website like the one we're looking at right now, it's still a lot of work. You still need to know how some of the pieces fit together. And people struggle about learning it. So you're like, I need my own website. Okay, I guess I need to learn WordPress. And that takes 6 months. And then they're like, now I need to know my autoresponder. And that takes 6 months. And all these things are hurdles and delays that stop you from getting there. And this is what, when I sat down and decided how I wanted to help people last fall, I said, I need to solve all those problems. I need to sell people a car, not the plans for a car, or at least the help on how to build one. And so out of that came my coaching program, which is called the Quick Start Coach Inner Circle. That is my coaching program that I've been offering now since February. And it's a coaching program that's unlike any other program that's offered online. Because when you join my coaching program, you don't just get me, you get my entire team. So you don't have to become an expert in how to design a website, because I have website designers who'll do it for you. You don't need to know how to set up your autoresponder, because I got autoresponder guys who can do it for you. My WordPress guy can do in 15 minutes what takes me 3 hours, and I've been working with WordPress for almost a decade. Imagine how much faster you can do it than somebody who's just starting out. But the reality is you only need to set up a website once. Why do you need to become an expert to do something once? He does it all day, every day. It makes sense that he would become an expert. Why would you have to learn to build a car so that you can build a car that you only replace once every 10 years? Just hire somebody who knows how to do it, who just does it all day. That's the way my coaching program works. And that's why it's different than any other program, because it's all inclusive. It includes all the things you need and all of the things necessary to build the business. Now, I can't show you a slick sales page for my coaching program, because the reality is it's not something that I sell, put big air quotes around that, in the traditional way. Because the reality is that my coaching program is super intensive with me personally. It's not a group thing. I work one-on-one with every single person in my program. So after I'm done this webinar tonight, I've got a call with one of my coaching clients. 18 minutes from now, I have a call with one of my coaching clients, and we're going to talk about his business. And we have figured out a plan. And many of my clients start and they don't even know what niche they're going after. But I've got some of the examples I mentioned. I have pet sitters. I have financial planners. I have an Orthodox Jewish rabbi who's building a business related to teaching people the Torah. I have all kinds of online marketers who are helping people build business market online. I have public speakers, classical guitarists, you name it. They're all building audiences of people online. And the way they do it is they meet with me personally about 3 times a month. So typically about every week to 2 weeks. It's more often when you're early in the program. And once we get your website and everything all built for you, your lead magnet set up and autoresponder, then it's a little less frequently. But about 3 times a month, they meet with me. And we spend anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half on the phone, just with an individual person. So I'm meeting with Henry at 9 o'clock, and it's just Henry, and we're going to talk about Henry's business. And we're going to determine what the next steps need to be done for Henry's business that are going to get done in the next 2 weeks. And then out of that, instead of me just saying, okay, Henry, you go do that, have fun. We'll see you in 2 weeks, see how you make out. Instead of just coming up with a to-do list, we allocate the to-do list. So some things Henry will do, some things I'll do on Henry's behalf, some things my team will do. So we're in the middle of building Henry's website right now. So I've got logo designers working on designing the logo for his site. We've worked over the last couple of weeks to come up with his niche and his domain name and picking the right domain name to run his business. I got logo designers, site designers working that are designing a website specific to him to create an audience of people that know, like, and trust him in his niche. So we're going to meet tonight. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to say what got done in the last 2 weeks since our last meeting. What do we need to get done in the next 2 weeks? We're going to come up with an action list. And then that action list is going to get allocated out. Then everybody goes and does their thing. And then Henry sets up an appointment, whatever time's convenient for him in my online schedule. I'm available a total of about 60 hours a week, evenings, weekends, during the day. And he'll set up a time and we'll meet again. And we'll say, well, what got done over the last 2 weeks? What are we going to do for the next 2 weeks? So what happens is, over the run of a year, I meet with each client individually 30, 35 times. Typically, 30, 35 times. And each time we move their business a little further forward to create something like what you're looking at right now on my screen. Or like this, which my team created, or this, or this. Different styles. Sites are different. It depends on the style of the owner. It's going to be designed to meet your style, but it's going to have all those elements. It's going to have a lead mag. It's going to build your list. And then we're going to help you write all the emails that you send out to people that are going to get them to know, like, and trust you, that are going to indoctrinate them as being your followers. And then figure out what products you're going to recommend to people. And then you can recommend them and make sales rather than just spinning your wheels like you've been doing all this time. And it includes me. So 30, 40 meetings, an hour and a half long over the run of the next year. It also includes the access to my team. So you have 17 people, just like the gurus have teams to help them do everything. You have our team, and I'm going to teach you one-on-one. This isn't a group training or, hey, go and watch this video that I created for all the people. You and I are going to sit down. We're going to do screen share just like we're doing now, and I'm going to show you how to do everything you need to do, all the pieces you need to do in your business. And then I'm going to have somebody else do everything that you don't need to do in your business. I want you to focus on building that audience. And then in addition to that, also in the program, we also include almost all of the tools and products that you need. You don't need website hosting. We're going to host your site for you on our own servers, super reliable. We're going to provide almost all of the tools that you need. And I say almost because it's only two exceptions for most marketers. And that is, you need to register your own domain name, which I'll help you pick if you don't already have one. But you need to register that, so that's like $12 a year. And you need to have your own autoresponder account. So you can pick Aweber, GetResponse. You don't need it first thing on day one, but by the time we finish building your site, you need to have your autoresponder. If you use Traffic Wave or something like that, we can work with it initially if you can't afford to upgrade to one of the nicer ones. But I'm going to be pushing you to get onto something better because your results will just be magnitude better if you get onto a true, real professional autoresponder. And we'll make sure you're making money to do it, which is the other thing that you get out of the program, because my program is the only program that guarantees how much money you'll earn. Now, it takes time to build an audience. So this is not get rich quick. You're not going to be making money next month. It's going to take us a month or so just to build your website and get this platform up and going for you. Then we're going to start attracting your audience, building your list in your autoresponder, and you're going to start connecting with them and building relationships with them. And I'm always looking for the low-hanging fruit, the thing that requires the least amount of effort from you for the greatest response. So what I tell people is, if you can spend 10 hours a week in your online business, then I guarantee that a year from now, you'll be making $1,000 a week. Minimum. Guaranteed. $1,000 a month from your business. Enough to really make a difference for most people. Some people make more because they put in more time, because maybe they're further along getting started. I mean, a lot of the traffic exchange owners that you would recognize their names, I coach. They're in my program. But some of the people in my program didn't even know what their niche was. They had no experience writing, scared to death to write blog posts. We can help with that. We can get you started. We can help you with those posts and get them going, because it's all customized to you. This is like, it's like I'm the partner in your business. I'm a partner, and I'm bringing my own team with me, except I don't get paid a percentage of the profits. Now, I started offering this program back in late February, early March, and it only took me about a week, 10 days to sign up the first 25 people into the program. And that was all I was taking at the time. I needed to start. I needed to figure it out. I needed to see how many people I could handle, because it's so much personal attention of mine. 3 times a month, meeting with people for an hour and a half each. Obviously, that takes a lot of time. It's what I spend 80 to 90% of my time now doing. So I started with 25 people. And then a couple of weeks ago, I started taking more people into the program. I decided I was going to go to 50 people. So currently we're up to 43. So I'm currently coaching 43 people as of today. And so those 43 people are each getting an individualized business set up for them. Now, I meet with each of them. So my current cap, I'm looking to get to 50 people right now. Once I'm to 50 people, then I'm probably going to cap it for a while, because the reality is, if you just do the math, 50 people, I meet with them 3 times a month. That's 150 meetings a month that run from an hour to 90 minutes each during all times of the day and night. If you did that math, you'd figure out that's more than 40 hours a week that I'm spending in meetings. Some days I spend 10 hours a day just going from meeting to meeting to meeting with my clients. So obviously, this is a program that has a limit. There's a physical limit because I only have so many hours in the day. Right now, that limit's 50 people. So I'm looking to add 7 more people. But as I said, there's no sales materials for this, because it's not something you can just go and buy. Because I don't just want 50 people. I want the 50 right people. I want the 50 people who I want to work with, 50 people who are motivated and committed to building an online business. And oh, by the way, age is no barrier. I have people in my program that are in their 20s and 30s. My oldest member in my program is 96. Most of my members are in their 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, vast majority. So they're building a business that's going to be a legacy, that's going to be able to carry on, that they can run, that's going to supplement their retirement income, or that's going to allow them enough money to be able to quit their full-time job. And we're building them all individually for them. So what comes out of that probably obviously is, well, what does the program cost? Because as you can see, there's a lot in the program. So, and it's not for everybody. It's for people who are truly committed to building a business and see the benefit of having a business that they own that is the guarantee of $1,000 a month in income. And so the way that the program works so far as cost and investment is concerned is, the first 25 people that signed up, there was only one way they could get in, and they had to buy an entire year worth of coaching up front. And that price of that was $1,800. It worked out to be about $150 a month over the run of an entire year, but they had to pay the whole $1,800 up front. They did that because I wanted to make sure they weren't going to quit part of the way through the program. Now, when I opened up these next 25 spaces, of which we've built 18, those next 25 spaces, I said, well, you can pay up front $1,800 for the year, or you can go on a monthly payment plan. Now, the monthly payment plan's a little more expensive in the whole run of the entire year. So you save money if you pay for the entire year up front. But the monthly payment plan's $197 a month. So $197 a month or $1,800 a year. And I can tell you right now, as soon as these 7 spaces are filled, that price for anybody added after that point, if I decide I can go to 60 instead of 50, is going to be $2,500 a year or $247 a month. That's the for anybody who gets added after the original 50. But if you get into the original 50 and you want to continue and you want to keep working with me as your partner into year 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, you'll always only pay $1,800 or $197 a month. The price never goes up for anybody once you join, but new people getting in later, the price is going to be higher. And for that, you're going to get 30 or 40 meetings with me over the run of a year, each one moving your business forward from 0 to making a minimum of $1,000 a month. You have access to my team to do anything that you need done in your business. So you don't need to learn WordPress. You don't need to learn Photoshop. You don't need to learn tracking, Mixpanel, Google Analytics, etc. They're going to set all that up for you. We're going to help you develop the content. We're going to help you develop, set up your autoresponder. We'll set it up for you. We're going to help you write all the emails, write all the blog posts that you need, get it all scheduled into a system that you can just run, because that's what we're creating. We're creating a system that you're going to put cold traffic in the top and warm leads who want to do business with you are going to fall out of the bottom. That's the whole idea. And it doesn't matter the niche. You can be in Make Money Online. You can be in model trains. You can be in any business. I just gave you a few examples of some of the 43 people that I'm working with now. It's really interesting. My day talking about all these different businesses. I love it. But I have 7 spaces left. So if you want to be part of it, then I'm going to put up on the screen the links where you go to get started. And the way it works, like I said, it's important to me that I pick the 7 right people. And we've got 10 people on this webinar right now. And I've got a multitude of other people that are working their way through the process. But I want to pick the 7 right people, because this program has to be right for you, and it has to be the right time for you. So if you go ahead and you join the program, then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to schedule a call between you and me, whatever time's convenient for you. And we'll talk about your niche, and we'll talk about the kind of business we would develop together as partners. And if at the end of that call, I feel like it's not the right thing for you, or you feel like it's not the right thing for you, then I'll just refund you everything you pay. Because I want the right 7 people. But you're here and you're listening to this, and it's almost 2 hours later and you're still here. So, and I know most of you guys, and I recognize the names, and you guys have been working at this for years without getting the results that you want. I know how to get those results for you. You just need help in putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So these are the links to get started that you see on your screen. But we're going to build an entire audience business for you that is guaranteed to make $1,000 a month, just 12 months from right now. So for $197 a month, you can make $1,000 a month. That's a pretty good return. And it is only going to take a maximum of 10 hours a week of your time. Frankly, early on, it's probably only going to take 2 or 3, because we're going to be doing the vast majority of the work. We're going to be building the website, etc. You're just going to be directing it because you're the boss and we're your team. You and I are going to figure out the strategy, the niche, and then we're going to work together with my team to execute it. So if you want to go ahead, get signed up. I'd love to have you in the program. We'll do an intro call, fully guaranteed. If you will decide you want to pull out, give you all your money back. Because I want people who are committed. I'm determined that this time next year, that I'm going to have 50 people who are all making at least $1,000 a month out of their business. And I want one of them to be you. You're here. You've supported me over the years. That's why I wanted to focus my energy on helping people who are getting going instead of helping the gurus make extra millions. What you get out of it will depend on what you put in and what we build together. You want to put in more effort? You want to make $5,000 a month instead of $1,000 a month? Totally doable. It's all about the depth of the relationship that you have with your audience. And if you choose to not take me up on this offer and not become part of the program, then I hope that you take the same approach of what we've discussed and you focus on starting to build these things yourself. Get your own domain name. Create a website and a blog. No, a blogging service like Blogger does not count. That's not how a professional blogs, and you're trying to look as a professional. Create some form of a lead magnet. If you're working with me, we'll create that together. I'll help you create it. My copywriters will write the copy for it. But if you're not, then create that yourself. Offer something free that you can give away to get people to join your list and get a great autoresponder. And then email them at least once a week, at least 5 or 6 times, asking for nothing in return before you make a recommendation. And when you do recommend, don't make it pitchy with copy and paste copy from a program or a sales page. Make it like a recommendation from a friend. I use this. I think it's really great. This is why I think it's great. I've proven that it works. You should give it a try if you want. Here's the link. No pressure. Just a recommendation. If you've heard everything you need and you're good to go, then you could go right over to these URLs. trck.me/QSC confirm. Quick Start Coach confirm. Or the same thing with monthly on the end if you want the monthly payment plan. It's the Quick Start Coach Inner Circle. You get meetings with me, you get website hosting, you get all the tools you need, you get customized training just for you, you get access to your team. We build the entire thing for you with your input in on all the design because you're the boss. We figure out your strategy, we figure out how you're going to market it. We set up all the tracking so that you can track it. You have a full-blown professional business and a consultant who's meeting with you every week, every 2 weeks to determine how we take it to the next level. And every time you just move it forward, move it forward, move it forward. You create an amazing business one step at a time. These guys that we just showed you were starting in 2008, 2010, 2011, and they're making millions. If you want to make millions, I can help you do that. I help those guys do it. If you just want to make that extra $1,000 a month, just to add on top of your pension, then we can do that too. And our relationship is not limited to a single business. So sometimes people want to pursue more than one niche. Maybe they want to create a business around online marketing. Well, for example, I have a client and he's a financial planner by trade. So we're building an entire business model for him around estate planning in his own local area where he works and how we can create a business plan of an audience of people who know, like, and trust him, which is going to generate clients for his estate planning business. But then he's also an internet marketer. So we're also creating another whole website based on his internet marketing passion and the fact that he wants to build a business there. So he'll be making $1,000 a month at least out of each of those businesses, and we're doing it all. And he still just paid the $1,800 for the year. You don't have to pay it per business idea or per website. I'm your partner. I'm going to help you succeed. Failure is not going to be an option. Go ahead and get signed up right away using the links that are here on the screen. Otherwise, I hope that you found this very useful. I hope you write me an email. Let me know if you learned something useful out of here, something that you'll be able to apply whether you're in the coaching program or not. Because this is a strategy that works. It's a strategy that's proven. Selling to strangers doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for you. And you've shown that because it doesn't work for anybody. You need a business where you have a system which is turning strangers into friends. And then you're recommending to friends who are buying it because of your recommendation. That is how the vast majority of money is made online. And that is the critical difference between what those who are succeeding are doing and those that are failing. And I want you to succeed. So I hope you'll join me in the program. Let me know how you liked it. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow in the email.